Okay, so in this second part of this video tutorial in Simply UI, we're actually going to get into creating the UI itself and connecting it up to the health variable. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to go down, scroll down the menu and go to the user interface, and we're going to load in or create a widget blueprint. So I'm just going to call this, for the sake of this, I'm going to call it tut UI. Okay, I'm going to double click on this, and this is our interface for creating the UI. I go into this in a bit more detail in another tutorial on creating titles for a game within Unreal. So I'll just show I'll just kind of show the basics that we need for this particular tutorial and this particular task. So over here we have all our base objects, and I'm just going to work using these default objects. So what I'm going to use is a progress bar. Drag this out, and I'm going to set this to 0 to 1, and you can see this is a percent value. So what we're going to have is this starting at 1 and then going down when our health depletes. So I'll leave that at 1. I'm going to set the color to green, and I might set the alpha down a little bit as well. Okay. Bring this down. I'm also going to bring in just a simple static text. So let's just change the name, the text of this, call this health. And let's just bring this down as well. So just a really simple functional interface. I will actually anchor these, so we have this anchor point up here, or we can go to anchors, and I'm just going to choose this center bottom. And what this means is if we resize the window or the viewport, these will try to stay in this bottom centered area of the screen. Okay. So the main thing with this is we need to set up the link between our progress bar and our actual variable. And the way we do this is we use this bind function. So on all the things that we can control, we can use the bind, and you can see there's a few different ones on here. So we're going to use a percent. I'm just going to bind. I'm going to click on this create binding. So this gives us something that looks like a custom function again. So I'm just going to break this link by alt clicking on here, and what we're going to do is we're going to or what we need to do with this is actually get the health amount, our current health, from the third person class again, or the third person character class. So let's drag this out. Let's just do a cast to third person character again. Okay. Need to get the player character. So from here we need to get the current health. So down here you can see we've got that get current health. Okay. Actually, to give it a bit more functionality, I'm just thinking when we first created the first person character, we created this max health as well. Now if we were to change that, we also need to make this percentage aware of that change as well. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to get max health. and I'm going to promote this, just right click on this pin, to a variable. So I'm going to call this variable, see if I can call it max health. Yep. So once we've got that, I'm going to just make a copy of this cast to first person again. Click on this and just Control W over here. We could use our same player character, unless you don't want this to stretch across, in which case we can just again Control W on this. Let's not let me do that actually. Let me just drag out from here. This isn't making any difference really, it just makes it a bit neater. Okay. So from here now, we can get current health. Okay. And what we need to do with this is actually convert this into a float. So to do this, we can just go to float. Okay. And to get the percentage, so on our, let's go into our designer. So this is a value from 0 to 1 at the minute. What we need to do with this is we actually need to work out a percentage from our health, which is currently a value of 0 to 100. So we need to get that as a percentage. So what we're going to do is go back into my graph. We need to divide this by, what we're going to use is our max health. So I'm just going to drag the max health out. And what I'll do again is just do to float. Okay. Drag from this, and I'm going to do a float divided by float. So we can connect this max value up. And then this value we're going to use as our return value. We also need to plug in the execute pin. And there we should be done. Okay. So the last thing we need to do, if we was to play this right now, it's not going to do anything different apart from what we had before. So the last thing we need to do is just go back to the first person character class. I am just going to quickly alt click on this. We don't really need this to print out, so I can actually delete that for now. Just leave that there for a second. It's not causing any trouble. So from the event graph of the first person character, we're going to actually put this on screen. So I'm just going to call an event begin play. So what we're going to do is drag out from here, and to get the widget, first of all we need to create the widget to be used. So use a create widget, and then we just click in here and we can actually search for the widget we've created, which is this touch UI. From here we now add this to the viewport. So drag out, let's type add to viewport, making sure to take the return value to the target, compile and save that, and then that should be good to go. So if we press play, we have our health bar. I go over here, our health starts depleting, you see the progress bar starts going down. I come out of there and go over to my restore health, goes back up to 100%. Okay, same thing, 100%. So what we should be able to do as well is on this damage, just making sure I'm in my details. in the, let's have a look at where this is. Did I set it to be visible? It's actually when it's on screen. So oh, not that one, sorry. This one here. So on this we've got our damage amount, which is 1. If I drag another version of this in, what I should be able to do, set this to a different damage amount. So let's say 10 on that one. So now when I go over this, I should take that down much more quickly. Okay. So you can see we can have different damage amounts for different objects, all calling the same function. What I can do finally is if I just click on the character. So in here we've got this max health value. I should be able to increase that as well. So let's say take that up to 200. Click play. Okay, so it's still working, still doing the percentage on that. Now we could set it to even something like 1000. And it should still do the same kind of thing. You see now it's going down much more slowly because we're starting to have a bigger value. But essentially it's doing exactly the same thing. Okay, and again, set that back to its max health, it goes all the way up. So there we created a simple UI, simple Blueprint widget, and just actually controlled that via a health variable which is stored in the player class, and then we just created 2 Blueprint classes to take away the health or to create damage, and another one to actually restore the health. And that's the end of the tutorial.